Number 5,
Ah! Ah! Father, please!
I have Revenge of the Sith. There's a finite number of bad parts in Revenge of the Sith. The romance between Padme and Anakin at the forefront, like, oh my god, but his love is blind, or his love blinded you? I'm blind, I can't see you, but with love, though love helps me see, but is blind, I am blind. I'm blind. Oh my god, that whole fucking scene is just like, I don't want to even say bad Shakespeare. What is it? Hayden Christensen? Is that the guy, motherfucker's name? But he was whack. I don't know. He looked the part. Honestly, like them using his likeness in the attack or in the Clone Wars saga, like wasn't so bad. Like if I feel like if they had that Anakin in the prequels, it wouldn't have been as bad. But it's just like again, like just like poor dialogue on that front. Good stuff in Revenge of the Sith is all of the action is good. Opening space fight, they got Anakin versus Dooku. They got Yoda versus Palpatine. They got Anakin versus Obi-Wan. And then there's like a handful of scenes that kind of make it worth it to me. Like I actually thought, as much as I don't like the guy that played Anakin, I thought the reveal scene where Palpatine reveals himself to Anakin, and he's like, I can save the one. Just takes a total turn. Actually, oh my god, when Mace Windu fucking and the Jedis take on Palpatine, that's pretty bad because it's like this guy is like so frail, and like they had to choreograph this fight scene to moves that he could do because he was just like so inept and old and like unathletic and just like everything. Because even Dooku, fucking the legendary Christopher Lee, this dude, like, he was a badass in everything. Like, he was like one of the original antagonists in like the Three Musketeer movies, like the early, like the 70s Three Musketeers movies. And he played like a soldier in a badass. Hey, what is it? He's the man with the golden gun. And it was like, Gum Gum Nabustable. Both know you plot of get but like, there's fucking Obi-Wan and Grievous. There was Obi-Wan and Grievous when they go to when he's tracking them down, he's riding on the lizard and all that shit. But it's like it moves fast enough, and I'll say that for Rise of Skywalker too, not to backtrack. But I felt like Rise of Skywalker moved quickly enough and had enough good action that I like was able to disregard some of the deficiencies that it had in like the dialogue or maybe like plot holes and shit like that. And I think that's doubly so for Revenge of the Sith. Yoda and Palpatine is like literally the two most powerful Force users at opposite ends of the spectrum go head to head. You could always improve, but like I saw enough in it that I'll put it there. The next three might be a little controversial, but
Ah! Ah! Father, please!
number 4, I have A New Hope, the one that started it all. I think in terms of like just good storytelling, it's and that's what matters to me most. Like I'll that's why my favorite lightsaber battle, my favorite technology, my favorite CGI, and all that stuff. Like it'll lift something up, but it won't make it a good movie because it's like, what's a good action scene? A good action scene is to be fucking 5 minutes. It'd be 5 minutes, but I still got to be invested in the movie. But A New Hope does that. A New Hope does that enough. Hero's Journey. You talking? I think it is for me. It's just like everything makes sense, and it's like it's a very relatable. It's a relatable story. Small town kid like wants to be something big. He gets hit with the opportunity, but he's still filled with doubt, and he's still worried about like what his uncle would think, and it's like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, and he just doesn't get the big picture. He's thrust into a conflict, which he still has to choose to take part in. But everything Alec Guinness says is fucking golden. Nobody does a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan impression. People still do an Alec Guinness Obi-Wan impression because he was such an impactful character. But everything Darth Vader says is badass. You know what I mean? It's too classic. All right, so this is the one that's gonna get me some shit.
Father, please.
Number 3, Rogue One. I really liked Rogue One. You can argue with me on this. It's like maybe it loses a little bit of the suspense because we know where it's going to wind up. But I think there's a little bit of I think it's a beautiful moment at the end where it's like the characters know where they're going to wind up too. They know it's a suicide mission, and I think that's kind of the point. There's some great scenes there. Fucking Donnie Yen as the blind. What did you call him? He's not even, I don't know, a monk, maybe? I guess. He's not a Force user, but he's one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. I don't know the Force, I know what I'm doing. I am the Force. But anyways, his badass sidekick with the huge-ass gun, like, that's awesome. I was just saying, I think the robot in this film was probably the funniest one. His honesty, his blunt honesty, is fucking hilarious, and he's badass. This is the Vader that we all wanted to see, and it was such a brief window. But it's like Vader is he's one of the best sci-fi antagonists, if not best antagonists of all time. He's just like super threatening with this like power that like you don't fully understand. You finally get to see him use that shit and just like mess people up. What's the guy's name? It's like Mac Mickelson. He's like a Norse actor. I thought he was good.
Father, please.
Number 2, Return of the Jedi. I think it's thematically it's second to only the number 1 on my list because it really kind of gets to the core issues of like inner conflict within Luke about like what he's got to decide. It's like does he kill his father? Can he find a better way? Like can good win out if he doesn't kill his father? And what does that make him if he does? And honestly, the Return of the Jedi lightsaber battle is solid. Even for them being at that age and fight choreography, I thought was very solid. And you know what? I feel like I'm back and forth about whether I fucking hate the Ewoks or love the Ewoks, but I think they make me laugh, they make me smile enough that I don't hate them. And there's like the whole invasion of the base is really good too.
Father, please.
And number 1, like I feel like do I need to explain why Empire is the best of the Star Wars films? I think structurally, what I love about Empire is that the A story. I think the A story in any film is like the or moral core of the movie, which will always follow the Skywalkers, and in this case, it follows Luke. And I think they perfectly balance Luke's struggles with the real-world struggles of rebels on the run from the Empire. And whereas that's where you get your Han Solo running away from the Empire, going into the, and all that stuff's great too. You know what I mean? Like all the side story stuff's humorous. We get good romance. We get this like very like reluctant romance between Leia and Han, and it's not like forced. You know what I mean? Like what's the romance story in the new Star Wars? Is it just Kylo Ren and Rey the whole time? Oh my god, there's tension between them because like you feel that there's a connection, but I never ever would have said it was a romantic connection. Leia and Han was like so classic opposites attract. Like that it couldn't have been simpler, and that was perfect. Even though you can make an argument for like fight choreography, on Empire Strikes Back, but that's gonna be a constant deficiency in the older films next to the later films that just benefit from like 30 years of action choreography experience going into a movie. But oh my god, the way that on top of like the pivotal like quotes and just like moments that come in the Luke and Darth Vader fight at the end of Strikes Back, so perfectly shot, like very suspenseful. Like that whole fight takes place over maybe like 10 minutes, and like it has stages within itself where it's like Luke is clearly no match for him, and then and then it's like he's able to overcome Vader at points when you're just like, yeah, and then you see that he's no match for him when he starts using his actual like force push abilities. Empire Strikes Back is like a perfect combination of all the qualities, where it's like the action, and the cinematography meets up with the storytelling, and like I easily the most quotable, of all 11 movies that I just said. Oh, except for Attack of the Clones. They're animals, and I murder them like animals. The women and the children. You can tell me what you think later. I've been so busy talking. I haven't even been drinking. You could say, oh, all of you purists are just like never gonna come around and see the new films for what they are. It's the next generation. Like it's a new, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be exactly like the original, but it doesn't make it bad. That's fine. That's fine. But you know what? They did not have the balls to go off in a different direction. And when they did, it was almost to prove people wrong. It wasn't because it made sense. Because it really fucking doesn't. Like, let's think of how it ends, man. Oh my god, I don't want to get into Rise of Skywalker too much, because I felt like I gave it the benefit of the doubt, but like, oh my god. The Resistance was already on the ropes, right? They were already on the ropes. And then it's just like, Palpatine comes out of nowhere, which I don't mind. I don't mind him being the ultimate villain, but it just proves that Snoke was this idea that didn't pan out. And they try and tie it up. They try and tie it up with a little bit of exposition where there's like, oh, Snoke, I made Snoke. And it's like, no, you fucking didn't, man. Disney made Snoke because they wanted a new fucking villain. And you know what? You can't just like make a line like that and then like retroactively explain everything that happened. You have to have like foreshadowing. I don't mean like a fucking YouTube video telling me about the Easter eggs and telling me how like, oh, it was right in front of our faces the whole time. Oh man, you won't believe what you missed. I am right, but I'm not infallible. So there it is. It's right there. Right in front of your fucking face. But don't fight me over it. Just listen to what I have to say, and then if you don't agree with it, then we'll fight. We'll fight over it. But this is the first episode of Zeitgeist. There will be more segments. There will be more structure, and there will be more me. All right. So we're wrapping up here. But thank you for sticking it out, and may the force be with you.